I'm Katrina, and this is Sew and Tare, and today we are going to be processing some of our quail. So we have jumbos in the other aviary, and in this aviary we have standard quail. And I have just gone through our quail and caught most of the males. I caught them with this butterfly net. That's just something I got at Ace, and it's really easy. I'll do an example here. You just go like this. This one doesn't care about getting caught. Okay, you just go like this, and then they usually will go one direction, and you just flip it like that. So this is open, this is flipped, and then you can grab it or just put it directly into the container. Go on, bud. Go, go. There you go. So I did that, and I put this in a kennel. I have 13 quail in here. They are golds, and some of them are wild type. So golds are Italians, mostly Italian Maturian. But we have 18 males in here. Not 18, 13. We have 13 males in here, and those are the ones that are going to be processed. So I built this aviary so that it is an egg producer aviary. The standard size birds have, they eat a whole lot less, and they hatch eggs that are almost as big as the jumbos. They're not all going to be that big, but these are supposed to have fairly large size standard eggs, if that makes sense. And so I haven't put light on them yet. It is winter. I wanted to get them mature and get the extra males out of here before I did that. And so we actually only have 8 females left, so I'm going to need more. And then we are keeping a calico and 2 Graufees from a different place, just to see if we can have those genetics, and those are males, and see if we can hatch some that are interesting looking and maybe sell some babies of those. So that is the plan today. I'm not going to actually show the dispatching, but I do cervical dislocation and then cut the head off and bleed it out. And then in the past we've used a drill attachment plucker, which works really, really well. Today we are going to try just skinning them and see which way we like. This way is supposed to be faster. The drill attachment didn't take that long. For the plucker, didn't take that long, and I think it's worth it to have the skin on there, to have extra moisture into the meat. But we're gonna do both ways and see what we like best. All right, see you when we're done with some dispatching. So this is what we use. This is what we use for our processing. It's a sink. This came actually with my meat rabbits when I bought them, and it has a hole over here to put the sink thing, but it broke before they gave it to me. So don't actually need the water at this point for this, but what we use is we have made ourselves a cone, and this is just going to go in here. We have a bucket underneath that's going to catch all the blood, and once I do the cervical dislocation and cut off the head, and I turn it upside down, and I just leave it there. So it does all of its final movements and all that in the cone. It's much better psychologically for me, even if it's still killing an animal. But that's the process we use. This again was free. Well, had to buy it for the drink, but that is the cone that we use, and then once that's done, we go on to the next step. In the past, we've put a plug-in stovetop here, heated the water inside, and then put water out here, and scalded, and then plucked. And we would on this end of the table clamp down a drill with a drill plucker, and then that would go off the end of the table. So that's what we've done in the past. But what we're going to do today is we're just going to skin them. So I may or may not show that process. We haven't really done it before. I've done it to a few birds that I processed when we didn't process a bunch of them, and it worked okay. We only have 13 right now, and so we're just gonna play with it and play with how cooking that works. I know when you don't skin them, and you pluck them instead, it works really well because it is such a lean meat that when you have lean meat, you need to add fat or add moisture to keep that moisture in there and make it not tough. So the skin really helps with that. So that is what we've done. But we're just going to try this for this batch. We have 13 males to process, and we'll go from there. All right, today the process is going to be, I'm going to do the cervical dislocation and cut off the head. The head, cut off the head over here. The head we're actually going to save, and I am going to see if I can sell those skulls once those are skulls and not just heads of birds. We'll cut off the feet and the wings to save as and dry as dog treats, and then skin them, and the skins are going to go in here. We might need a bigger bowl, but that is the plan today. And then the meat is going into, so then I'll gut it. Then I'll gut it. Then it will be rinsed in water, and then it will go into a cooler which has ice in it, and that cooler will we'll have them in there for 24 hours at least before we putting them in the freezer. One more thing before we get started, I always like to have a butterfly net next to, I just have them in a pet carrier next to that in case one gets loose while I'm handling it before it's dispatched, and then I can easily get it with this. So we've harvested most of the birds. We have one more left, and then this one I'm going to show you how we've been skinning them. We have already cut off the legs at the knee joint, and then also the wings at the shoulder joint. And so this is a headless, wingless, legless bird. So be warned. If you don't want to see that, that is completely fine. And we'll put a timestamp down in the bottom, and you can skip ahead, pause it and skip ahead to see the end result if you don't want to see this. It will be skinning the bird. It's already dead. It's already all that. So we can give you a little bit of time if you need to do that. All right, let's look at this bird. Is it close up? So we're looking at this is the head end, this is the tail end, and this is the belly. There's the back side. So what we've been doing is finding where the neck is. Okay, and you can just lift that up with the scissors, or you can tear it too, but this is just what we've been doing. We've been cutting down the chest, and you should be able to open that and see that you're not actually cutting meat. So we are on top of the meat, only under the skin. And all the way down. So that is what we start with. I'm going to put this down and show you the rest of it. So next steps is, again, this is the head end. Just peel it back. This is where the wings used to be attached, right, on the shoulders. This is the neck. And grab it so that you're pinching behind the shoulder, where the shoulders would be. And then, see, I can put my finger through. So once you have that, you can grab onto the body and pull out the neck. So that is what you can do there. Okay, shoulders, this is the neck going backwards. Next, we go down here and literally undress the legs. So those just come right out, and then again, this is the knee, this is underneath the knee joint. You can stick your finger through and then pull off the bottom of at the bottom of the leg. Same thing on this side. This goes quicker with it when you're not filming it. All right, so we have our legs out. We can peel that back. Peel that back on this side. These black dots are the feather endings, just in case you're wondering what that was. And going to take it from the back and peel. There is a hard part right by the hips area where it's going to probably come out like that. That's okay. We can keep pulling that. And this is where I keep pulling here. And right here is the uropygial gland. That's where there's a gland there that the quail have to put oil on their feathers and preen and all that. And so that's what you want to get when you get it off. But you can see I got most of this off. A few feathers there, that's fine. And then get your scissors again. And this is easy with 2 people if one holds that, but you don't need it. And again, you want to get those glands and the back end. Go ahead and cut that all off. And now we have our feathers and our skin, and this is the type of feathers. If you wanted to, you could sell these to fly fishermen or something like that, because it hasn't been in the hot water like normally happens if you pluck them. So that would be a reason to do this. I'm kind of thinking we're going to do both. This is our first time going through the skinning process before we've done plucking. And so now you have this bird, and yes, it has feathers all over it still. You have this bird, and we're going to spatchcock. So to spatchcock, what you do is, this is the spine, this is the bottom, this is the neck, this is the spine right here. So you're going to put the edge of the scissors in the bottom part, cut up the side, okay, all the way up the side of the neck, and then do the same on the other side. Sometimes you'll cut through the heart and it'll be extra bloody in there, but that's okay. So that's spatchcocking. And you can just take this and pull it out. Now you can see the lungs pulled out most of the way. There's still a little bit of lung there, but we're actually going to save this, clean it off, and save it. And when we do our bone broth, we'll add that in. So I'm just going to put this in the water. We're going to rinse it off and then put it in the freezer after I take some of these lungs out. Alright, so now you're left with this spineless bird. And if you open it up, you can see these are the lungs and the kidneys. And those need to come out. But first thing I do is I take what's left of where the neck was, so the esophagus and the trachea. I take that and I grab it and I pull down. Once that is there, it opens up a spot at the top, so the heart is right in there on the front side. And I just put 1 or 2 fingers in there and scrape it out. Come down to the bottom, there's some membrane there, and you just pull it out. So there's your guts. You can take a look at the liver, make sure it doesn't have any spots or anything on it. Liver's right there. And this is garbage for me. I suppose you could feed that to a dog or something. But then you need to look up and say, okay, here's the lung. It was right there. Here's the lung. We need to get that out. Make sure you get the kidneys out all the way out. And do the same on this side. You see it? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I just pinch it with my thumbs and get it out, and then scrape this here with my thumbnail and get that out too. So that's ready to rinse. So we're going to rinse it off in water, and then it will sit for 24 hours in a water bath with ice bath. And then we can freeze them or eat them or whatever. You can eat them now. It's just they're going to have to go through the rigor mortis process for that to be, more tender. So that is this part. Next, we're going to show you the end result later. Here is our 13 quail. They've been through their ice bath we ended up doing almost 48 hours. because we had stuff going on. But they are ready. I did a second washing. And they're ready to pat dry and go into the freezer. So these are not the standard size, or these are the standard size, not the jumbo size. But they have some good meat on those legs and the breast even. Pretty good.